You're now listening to the 1130 podcast. Enjoy the show.
I'm from the city, DC, that's where I'm from. 1130 podcast, Dre on wheels, he is the one. Let's get it, yeah. Who with me? Let's get it, yeah. Who with me? I'm from the city, DC, that's where I'm from. Let's get it. 1130 podcast, Dre.
What it do, man? Welcome back, everyone, to another episode of the 1130 podcast. What's goody, man? It's your man Dre, aka Dre on Wheels. Y'all already know what it is, man. Welcome everyone back to another episode of the show. If you're new to the podcast and you haven't done so already, I don't know what you're waiting for. Definitely hit that subscribe button down below. You guys, man, like it, you can comment, share it, do all that great stuff. And don't forget to follow the 1130 podcast on all social media platforms. Now, like I said, man, another episode. We here. It's time for the podcast. It's not 7:30, man. It's 11:30, man. For real. I got a great show, great guest. That's with me on this week's episode, you guys. SJ Hazim, you guys, man. He's an entrepreneur. He's a singer. He's a rapper. He's a music artist, you guys, man. A community activist, man. Just to name a few. Yo, man, we're going to be chatting with him, sharing his story, and also talking about some of his latest music he got going on, man. Really inspirational and inspiring the world, man, for real. But we ain't going to waste no more time. We're going to bring on my guy, SJ, man. What's going on with you? How's it going?
Man, everything is good. It's a wonderful time to be alive, you know. So, I mean, man, and to be on the 1130 podcast is amazing because I didn't even realize that this was taking place in DC, and you from DC. I did some growing up in the DMV. You know, not even trying to sound like it was bars, but it wasn't even trying to be like that. But yeah, I stayed in Arlington, Virginia, from right around 94 to towards the end of 96. I was in the Marine Corps, and I was stationed over there at headquarters Marine Corps. Right there off Pikes.
Marbury Pikes?
That street, I think it's Pike Street.
Okay, I think I know what you're talking about.
And, but yeah, I was always in D.C. We was, Haynes Point,
Yeah.
I mean, it was going down. Quigley's. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I know what you're saying, man. For real. Yes, man.
Howard Homecoming. When I was out there, I was sitting on 20s. In a 1989 Accord, it was maroon. There might be some people like, oh, damn, I may have read into them. But I was always out and about.
What's up, man? That's really, really awesome. Yeah, man. I'm born and raised, man, here in Washington, D.C. So I appreciate the love, man, and definitely the vibe. D.C. vibes all the way here on the 1130 podcast. But SJ, man, this is your first time being here on the podcast, man. I've been checking you out. Once again, also shout out to Katrina, who's been blessed the 1130 podcast with such wonderful guests over the last couple of weeks, and you've been one of them. You've been doing a lot of community work, man, and also in the music and stuff like that. But before we touch on that, tell everyone about yourself. This is your first time here on the show.
Well, man, I come from Topeka, Kansas. That's what I represent. Now, I was born in Wyandotte, Kansas City, Kansas. My mama's side of the family is from Kansas City, Kansas. My father's side from Kansas City, Missouri. Wyandotte, we call it the dot. Now, I've been in Topeka, Kansas since I was about 4 years old. I come from a big family of 8 kids. And my grandmother stayed with us when I was, young. And, the reason we ended up moving from Kansas City to Topeka is because my whole family's gang related in those areas. And my father's older brother was a hitman. And he ended up killing his own significant other. And, my father wanted us to be away from that influence. So, although, of course, my family's my family, but that was one of the reasons they made the move to Topeka. But growing up, hip hop, I'll say, really is the first time I ever felt inspiration in my life. It was after I lost my grandmother around the same age, around 6 years old. She was my confidant, my best friend. I was an introvert. So I told her everything. But when hip hop, after she passed away, hip hop came, just shortly after that, into my life, and it's the first time I felt alive. I had to learn how to break dance and all those different types of things, and it just did something to me because before that I never really felt nothing. I was a real deep thinker since a young age. So after hip hop died out, I mean not hip hop died out, but breakdancing died out. And some people would say it didn't. There of course it's an Olympic sport and all that, but you know what I'm talking about. I became a closet rapper a little bit later. I was like, I trying to put these words together and everything, but then I kind of came out, about 14 is that I was, doing some rapping and everything. But I'm just a young man who was inspired by hip hop, and I got into community work because I had a lot of some dark times in my life. I lost the loved ones and things like that. Challenges in life, like even when I was in the Marine Corps, I didn't get an honorable discharge. I ended up turning 21 in prison, Quantico, Virginia. You know what I'm saying? Where the brig was at. And at that time, thought I could have been facing about 20 years for what happened, but things kind of turned around and it didn't go as bad as it could have went. And I was blessed to just end up, being discharged, how that went. But through some of those challenges and everything and learning lessons, community work was kind of a saving grace as well. Instead of being focused on my own shortcomings, things that didn't go my way, I could focus on getting something solved with a team. And when you feel down, put a smile on somebody else's face. That'll help you out as well. So I just started learning. You get what you give. So selfishly, I got into volunteer work, although it will look the other way around like it's selfless. But I did that to help myself. And that's the perspective. But from that community work and different things and me being able to connect people with different things led to some of the artistic things. Because, I was performing with Lil Wayne and Juvenile and people like that when in the 99 when they was taking over for the year 99 to the year 2000.
2000.
I did the Daytona Beach Black College reunion in Daytona Beach. I mean, there were so many people there. That was 1999 when I was just turning 25. I was on my way into the industry. But the dude behind me was the biggest dope dealer in Topeka. So, but what ended up happening, he did fair time, shortly after that, when we first bought Cash Money and them to Kansas City. That was the first time anybody bought them to Kansas City in 99, the Kemper Arena. But after that, some things happened and my life went a different direction because we were really out here.
Okay,
And
look at. I hate to cut you off, man. It really is amazing, but I got so many questions though. We're gonna get back to that story that sort of led you down different directions in life. But what was that inspiration to you of hip hop? You said hip hop sort of you were introduced to hip hop and shortly before you lost your grandmother. So what was it about hip hop that sort of brought you into it and gravitated to it?
it was the way the people was moving with, what I'm saying, with the dancing. I never saw dancing like that before. You know what I'm saying? There was so much. Of course, the rhythm and the beat was crazy, but it was the movement. As far as, because first I was inspired to break dance before anything else, but that came from the hip hop music and the rhythm. I just never thought I'd ever be able to rap. You know what I'm saying? So maybe that's why I chose breakdancing first. But then I felt when breakdance went out, I was forced into staying connected with hip hop through rap because I wasn't a graffiti artist. I wasn't a DJ. I was trying to be one of those elements, to it. So I chose the MCing route. But it was just the rhythm of it all, and I like to be able to deliver whatever I want to tell the people, through what I see in this life.
Okay, I got you. I got you. Who were some of the biggest people, or who were some of the influence that SJ looked up to as a young hip hop guy?
Oh man, you know, of course we're gonna start with African Bambaataa and them because that Planet Rock was, I mean, amazing. People like Rakim, you know, I mean, people like KRS-One, I mean, early on, I mean, and of course, people like Tupac, people, I mean, but if we, I mean, just there were so many different MCs. Coogee Rap. I mean, I
Mm,
love the intricate rappers, who really told the descriptive story. Nas,
yeah,
Jay Z. I mean, Bun B, UGK.
yeah.
I mean, and I've gotten influences I was growing. I mean, from a junkyard. I mean, as far as I put like go type stuff. It's all about the vibe. Hip hop is a whole vibe, so it's like I throw different things in, jazz elements. As far as even if it's not, what I mean, like we got a Juilliard. I know I'm not supposed to talk about that, but the violin, is an element and everything.
Okay.
So I mean, all around, I've just been inspired by even more so MCs that have always had like a message. Poor righteous teachers. You know,
Got you. I
uh,
got you. It's awesome. Look at it, it's real cool. Cause take us through that journey of obviously being influenced by hip hop and getting into the music business. I know before you said before that you were in the military and you didn't have an honorable discharge and stuff. So how did the military? How did you get into the military? And then after the military was like, you know what? I need something to do with my life, but I really love music, so I'm gonna get into that. How was that journey for you?
well, it was, the Marine Corps is different. It's a different monster and everything. And I found I was still trying to find my identity. When I joined the Marine Corps was a reason because, Topeka per capita, crime rate per capita, we're always in the top 10.
Mm,
And normally number one because I mean it might be 40, 45 murders, right? But we only have a population of 100 and like 30,000
mm,
in our city. If you want to count the outskirts, you could say maybe 200,000. But you know what I'm saying? So it's like just the way it is the percentage of every 1,000 persons that you're around or whatever, there's a 43% chance something could happen. You know,
mm.
so so as far as just coming from Topeka, Kansas, it's it's different. You know,
Yeah.
um,
And you don't hear too many stories about Topeka, Kansas, and you wouldn't think that would, be up on it. You hear a lot of stories of, New Orleans and Baltimore and other different cities and states throughout the country. But I think that's a first as well, though. But you said that was more so leading to you into the Marines, and how was
yeah.
that?
So okay. So what was happening? All my people was joining, either gang leaders or different stuff. Because now in the '80s, when we growing up together, before it all, went to what it went to here, as far as and it's I guess you could say it's getting cleaned up some, but not. It's whatever. Not to get too deep onto that, but I knew if I stayed here, something was going to end up going on with me because all my people was doing what they was doing, and that was when we was in the height of you know the murders. You know what I'm saying? Which I think we got up to maybe 45 to 50. At that time, but most of them was gang related because a lot of people from Chicago was starting things like Four Corner Hustlers and the Gangster Disciples and things of that nature, and that was it was really booming pretty big here, and I knew I was going to have to make some different choices because I had a track scholarship, but then I flunked out of college because I was red shirted and I became an alcoholic. You know what I'm saying?
What you mean red shirted? What you mean by that?
I was that means I got hurt doing track and field.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? That was one of the things that even led me to a choice in the Marine Corps. But things wasn't all good here for me, and I didn't see a way out, or I was just going to end up, a statistic or a murderer.
How was it finding your
I mean,
identity?
that is.
Yeah.
I was still trying to. I didn't know. I didn't value life or my life at the time. As I was trying, that's when I told. That's why somebody would join the Marine Corps and raise their hand that they would give their life or take a life, because that's what it comes down to. Is you're gonna join the service, especially the Marine Corps. So, and not even to get that deep, I didn't even know we was really gonna be. I was gonna, do all this, but hey, this is what it is, because I served there. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? And in the DC area. But anyway, just that was one of the reasons that even got me into the service and away from Topeka at that time. But that's the thing that keeps me in Topeka now, helping the youth and doing things because I've lived the life. I've
Mm.
seen it and I've made different choices, and some of those choices are why I'm here today. So the music is a tool, and through hip hop is a tool, and everything with it, the culture and everything to be able to, each one teach one, and be forthcoming with the information. Uh,
Mm.
and people only want to support an artist who actually invest in them. So the investment is the information, the speech is the service. When you serve them with that speech.
I dig it. I understand. I really do though. What's the message? Because like you said, you got that message through hip hop, and what's the message that you want to sort of continue telling, or teaching this young generation, that you well into the community.
you know, um, the things that we complain about are the things that we probably see in ourselves. When we don't like this about a person, oh, that person's arrogant. This, that. How do you know that person's arrogant? You probably been arrogant, or
Mm.
you still are. And then somebody say, no, I'm very humble. I've moved intentional and all this. I'm like, if you brag on your humility, think about that one. You bragging on your humility. How humble are you?
Mm.
So, I mean, it's just, I think everything I want the kids to know about perspective, because I could be standing on this side of a nine and you could be standing on that side of it, and I'm seeing a six and you're seeing a nine, and we arguing. Well, let's go to the other person's shoes, and then we're going to see what they seeing. But some people don't want to even talk about perspective. But I just want the kids to know that it's possible to change your life and things like that. And the thing is, I don't actually come forth with all this type of information that I came forth with today to the youth off top, unless I'm talking in a juvenile detention center or a place like that. Read the room. You got to read the room, before you, because especially if you've been through a lot. I don't want to say too much to some fifth grader. You know what I'm saying? And
Hey.
so that the overall message is really be yourself, so people can see yourself. You know.
Got it, man. And you said getting into the community work sort of helped yourself because you was going through a lot though. How was that sort of healing process for you, and also trying to like you said, teach one, each one teach one, bringing up the next young brother.
Yeah. Well, I think it came from I'll say around 2000, from 2010. When my mother passed away unexpectedly. To in 2012. when two people who was in my wedding party, it was a double murder suicide. So three people died, and two of these people was my best people. And actually, you know, April 22nd right now is the birthday of my best friend Howard Givens Jr. May he rest in peace, who was a victim of that double murder suicide. So that had happened. And then I got some really bad family news as far as involving, you know, my adopted son and my daughter, which was dramatic. And so I was just in a place for the next couple of years until the gospel event happened, and I ended up, you know, going to that, and I just felt really renewed. It was Lecrae, Lecrae, Trip Lee, and those guys. It was a free concert that a guy named Cody Foster put on for AIM 5 and let everybody come for free. Paid these guys and everything. I mean, they was charging like 50,000 and things, you know. So it was just a blessing. And then I felt like I could, be a soldier for the Lord again. Some different things like that, you know. So some things happened in life there. And then I went through the phase to where I got super spiritual and some other things like that, to where it, I almost found myself involved and too deep into like a church that almost looked like it became a cult, right? And I know that's some wild stuff. And then I pulled back again. So now I've kind of found a balance within everything, because when you're really, really passionate, you know, you just never know what can happen, you know, with what direction you might go. And it's all about that balance, because sometimes things could be really off balance and you just don't know what you might get involved in, because you go so crazy for something, you know, to where every time you see somebody, you're condemning them. You know, because I know everybody's experienced it. You got family members like that, you know. Somebody asked, well, how's your son doing? Not as good as he could be if he was with the Lord.
I understand with you right there, man, because being especially if you're in the community and you're not in the church, man, it could turn out both ways. It could go
Right.
both ways for you though. But you're doing good, man, for the community though. Can you tell us? Can you speak on the Brown versus Board song, the 70th anniversary, and everything you got going with that, man? Because I think that's amazing, and I did some research um about the Brown versus Board, but I want you to share the information with everyone else though, and how all this came about.
Okay. So there's an organization goes by the BABC, the Black American Blueprint Collective, and on behalf of them, I was commissioned to write and pick out the beat, do everything for a song that was going to be like a We Are the World type of thing, with kids singing the chorus. And so from rooter to the tutor, I I did everything. So it's called Far Too Long, and it's a song of that's dedicated to the Brown versus Board of Education landmark decision that happened in 1954, May 17th, that ended school segregation. And this was something that happened. I'll say this is the thing that put the wind beneath so many different activist wings like Rosa Parks, because the next year is when the bus thing happened. And then even for Martin Luther King, this was a landmark thing, and it was 10 years before the Civil Rights Act. So, but you don't hear about Brown very much at all. But yes, we had the lead plaintiff, Oliver Brown. In this process, the NAACP was so far ahead of its time because they were doing things to be able to make this happened when it happened in 54, because there was decisions that happened in the 30s and things like that, going all the way back to when the first person, Dred Scott, you know, wanted to seek citizenship. But anyway, through this process, 29 different artists, 29 different local artists on this song. There's all kind of humming and melodies, but we had a different, almost like a small choir doing that. Robinson Middle School and Jardine contributed to the middle schoolers doing the chorus. And I wrote everything. So you got a mix of spoken word, you got a mix of rap, you've got singing, you've got it all. And it's definitely the first verse is about the past, the middle verse is about the present, the last verse is about the future, and where we can go into. And it was definitely a process, but I feel so blessed, and I feel like this really helped move things forward. And there's even a possibility, I don't want to spill the beans, that you could end up seeing us in your neck of the woods here soon, if everything really works out, because we are in some talks with some people in DC that have to do with this landmark decision, where we could end up previewing this video. I mean, the video will already be out before then, but we'll definitely could end up having a showing somewhere there in DC. And I'll have confirmation on that within the next week or so.
Okay. Hey, I think that's a wonderful, man. Trying to inform and educate, man. Definitely educate the youth, especially the young brown black, young brown black boys and girls, man, on what happened.
And you know, I'll even say
All
this:
those.
there's there's
Mm,
there's grown folks who don't know.
yeah.
I mean,
Mm,
and I was having an interview with a guy in the UK just the other day, and he was saying, until I had to send different information, he didn't know. He didn't have any idea about Brown versus Board. Of course, that's in another country, but there's
mm-hmm.
some people who they just didn't know. And but yeah. So I just wanted to just say that. You talked about the youth, but this is just something for everybody, and it's something that we really need to look at, because when I look at it, when we're talking about resisting things and changing stuff, I've the amounts that we're taxed right now, we should all be in an uproar. You know what I'm saying? Bipartisan across all boards. I mean, and I tell you what, I don't have a problem, going towards some things. I tell you what, I don't have a problem resisting. But I'm telling you, I just think that's a thing. But I'm sorry, I just wanted to throw that out on the 11:30 podcast, because I'll be ready to go 7:30 about that.
I dig it, man. I definitely dig it, though. What's the message, sort of, that you want to educate everyone, not just the youth, but people who are the adults, man, who just don't know about this versus Brown versus Board song, or also the case and everything.
This is the message that I have. If we don't know the past, we're doomed to repeat it. And we just lost affirmative action. We all seen it. It just happened. Some people aren't even aware of that. That happened at the Supreme Court just last year. So therefore, DEI initiatives and all those other type of things, companies don't have to do it anymore. So therefore, when you have the critical race theory or whatever, all bundled up into that, what that is, what they say that is, you can't talk about the lived experience. So the only way you can get that out is through poetry, through rap,
Mhm.
which I look at as revelation and prophecy, which is also rhythm assisted poetry. I know everybody says, rhythm and poetry, rhythm assisted, I mean, so it all is what it is, but it all ain't what some people think, you know. And So I think whenever you can't talk about the lived experience, then the past is doomed to repeat again. So it's like only through art can we get the truth out. So the message is this, it's about the inner states, the free way of thinking, so not inner with the T, but inner states, the free way of thinking. People don't think for themselves anymore. They let tweets speak for them. They listen to what somebody like a Kanye say and try to find the genius in that or whatever, but they don't find the jewels and gems within themselves if they would just sit with themselves and think and be quiet for some time and stop putting everybody else's thoughts into their mind. So we read books and all these extra things to make us feel like we know something because we can get into any conversation with somebody to impress some people we don't even know, and just to think that the floor is ours and get our little 15 minutes. But so I want people to think for themselves because right now, some people don't even know the difference of a rapper and AI and everything.
Mm.
And I'm like, if AI will never beat me in rhyme. Because I'm gonna say some different stuff that the average person doesn't think of. So I'm not worried about that while a lot of people are. So it's like I want to be courageously creative, which I am. So I mean I am because we are, therefore I am.
Hey, I dig it. I dig it. Now you got definitely got to be creative, man. Especially in the world today, man. A lot of people definitely don't think for themselves, man. They just get up on social media and they be like, you know what, that's how I feel too, or you know what, that's what we should do. We all should just think alike and just do that. I'm like, come on, man. We are all uniquely, individually, one person, and we all got a brain that work sort of, and we all need to think for ourselves. So, but yeah, man, it's definitely crazy though. But you mentioned music though. AI is definitely something else. But you mentioned music. You've been in music for some time, man. And what was some of your funnest experience? Because you talked about how you worked with Lil Wayne and the Cash Money records and all of that great stuff. So, what was something that you're still looking forward to accomplish in the music world, and also with some of or what have been some of your biggest moments, so to say, in music.
Well, I also want to say this. Now, when I did talk about Lil Wayne and Cash Money, it was a show that I ended up doing with them at Daytona Beach, and that was that. And then when we bought them to Kansas City, it was just business as far as booking them to
Mm.
come and things like that. So I didn't work with Cash Money Records. I want to make sure that it's not
Okay.
confused or anything like that. But yes, in that capacity, that was that. I'll tell you what. I think it's been the edutainment aspect of the music for me, because after that change happened, as I was telling you about with be chasing the dream, to actually getting married and going different routes with my life. Um, I wasn't chasing the music anymore, but I became a consultant for the Boys and Girls Club here in Topeka, Kansas, for a few years and helped boost up the kids literacy program. So I transferred like 4 books a week into raps, and we did a kids lit session for about 20 minutes. And after the teachers there read the books to the kids, they come out and then we will perform the rap version of it and everything, and it was good. It was good. So when I saw how some of the teaching through that, how it benefited, because they were trying to get engagement with the kids because they didn't want to just hear the books, just
Yeah.
read and everything. So that was just it was good. I never thought that I'd be doing something like that. And then from there, doing a song like this Brown versus Board of Education thing. This is a highlight, definitely. Um, because of where this just might take us to. And super hint, wherever this case happened is where this just might take us. And if that's the case, then history's made again. And so it's like just amazing things. And then I have a song out with a gentleman named Lamont Jackson called Levitate. And now he performed at the Sprint Center in Kansas City with Kelly Clarkson. He's a Capitol police officer at our Capitol here in Topeka, Kansas, and he's also and he's been a singer for a long time. And she ended up seeing one of his YouTube videos and invited him out. He rocked that sold out crowd. That was a few years ago. But now we have a plaza in downtown Topeka. It costs about $10 million plaza, but they have a water splash park. So they do a playlist, or they're gonna do a playlist of like 10 songs, and those songs will be synced up with the water. So I got a call about including our song "Levitate" to be on that 10-song playlist. So that's something, and it hasn't been announced here in Topeka yet, but it will be eventually, probably within the next few weeks or so. But that's a major placement, for an independent artist,
Yeah.
So just excited right now. So I think some of my best things are happening right now.
Hey, look at I dig it, man. I think that's a one hell of an accomplishment, though. For real, one hell of an accomplishment. I also wanted to say, man, you doing great things within the music business, and also helping the youth, because you mentioned the Brown versus Board, and also because in a lot of schools around the country, and some outside the country, they took it away of that, learning about Black history, learning about your own Black race and stuff like that. So I think it's very important, for guys like such as yourself and me. Also, I got a little 1 year old, so I'm pretty sure, from the time he go to school, it won't be, they won't be teaching them any history on himself and everything like that. So I think it's important to us as a community to see one teach each other, man. Just keep that bond definitely going on, man. I gotta ask you a question because I seen something on your social media. Are you a fan of wrestling?
Oh yeah, oh yeah. I'm a
Yeah.
fan. I'm a fan of wrestling. To say the least.
Okay, tell me about it because I seen something. I think you're a manager, right? Like, tell me about that. Tell me, because I'm a huge wrestling fan.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm a manager. My name is the Finger, SJ the Finger Hazim. The ultimate sign, the official sign of disrespect. The finger coming to a face near you. So so we working on the apparel. We're gonna have the foam fingers, and then we're gonna have the Arsenio Hall extension, to where you can screw on a little bit of a longer finger than the average.
Okay.
Arsenio Hall got that long finger. We might have to I might have to try to see if I can get him to approve it. You know what I'm saying? We might be able to tie him in on some of the marketing, because I really think that this can go all the way up to like WWE and stuff. Because right now, the Finger is accomplishing things that he's hoping. He just wants to be the most hated man in the region. So
Hey, I like.
he's had two shows, which and one he crashed. He got booed in Topeka, and he got booed in Junction City. They did a whole chant. They were like, "You suck, you suck." So anyway, I have been a fan, but I'm part of the Rose Garden Team Wonderful. A manager of Mr. Fitness 2, the $1 Million Body, and we had a falling out because I was trying to hit Lubador with the shake weight in the head, knock him out, but Lubador reversed it, and I ended up hitting Mr. Fitness 2 and knocked him out. So when he came to, he ran up on me on the ring, made a fool out of me, and broke my finger. So Now the fingers, the fingers recovered. I got another show May 4th. I told him May the 4th be with him. We are beefing. I'm coming with my goons, and it will be televised. So it's gonna be on. It's gonna be on. It's gonna be on television. So
Okay.
there is a way that that link can be shared, and you guys could see it. So I'll make
I,
sure that happens.
I would love to. I would definitely love to, man. I'm a huge fan of wrestling, and I like the character behind it, man. I have a show with the guys. I also do my wrestling show as well, and I think a big emphasis that we talk about is storytelling and characters, on wrestling. Who are you and everything. And I think from just telling me what you just told me, being Mr. Finger is entertaining just hearing it. So I love it too. Who was it? Who was your big wrestler growing up? Your favorite wrestler?
I had a lot of them, but I'm going to tell you, I won't go all deep crazy into it. But I've been a fan of wrestling since I was probably 4 years old.
Okay.
My dad always watched it. Of course, he called it wrestling.
Yeah.
But go all the way back to Harley Racing them. And
Mm,
but where the person who, as far as I always I like some of the villains and I like some of the good guys.
mhm.
A Junkyard Dog. You know what I'm saying? Rufus R. Jones. Love them. You didn't. There was black wrestlers were far in between sometimes. So of
I,
course
I,
of course I liked all of them. You know what I'm
yeah.
saying? I was a Hulk Hogan fan. You know what I'm saying? I was,
Everybody was.
I mean, my man, woo,
Yeah, Ric
Ric
Flair.
Flair. I mean, he was talking mess. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I'm surprised more rappers haven't used some of his, some of his lines and everything else like that. But as
Yeah.
things grew and later in life, Razor Ramon brought life back to it. You know what I'm saying? He's at the farmer's market throwing toothpicks at people. You're going to see the finger doing things like that. The finger, you might see him at a farmer's market, just causing havoc. You know what I'm saying? Ain't paying for nothing. You know what I'm saying? Talking about what
I
does this taste
gotcha.
like?
I got.
You know what I'm saying?
I
So I'm gonna be a mix of everything, but the finger is very respectful to women. You know what I'm saying? So he calls them misses and all that other type of stuff, because there's a message that he's out there still sending. He's still a classic man. You know what I'm saying, and things like that. So any character that I have a part of is gonna be a classic man. Because too much of this women against men thing and going on and whatever else. So I'm always gonna uh if I'm gonna do anything, I'll overdo it. But that's definitely a message I want the youth to have because I just don't see as much gentleman stuff as it used to be. I mean, we calling people bruh. Calling your ladies
yeah.
bruh.
I know, right? It's a weird time, man. It's a weird time, and the way the world evolved, and a whole bunch of other stuff. But I know one thing you definitely mentioned, especially when you were talking about wrestling, how back in the days, man, there wasn't a lot of black wrestlers, man. In sports, in sports in general, but definitely wrestling, professional wrestling, the WWE, or so. Yeah, black wrestlers didn't have a whole lot of opportunities or chances to become world champion or be in top stories. So when you mentioned the Junkyard Dog, I remember hearing a story or watching a documentary on him, and my mom used to love the Junkyard Dog growing up, and everyone was a fan of Hulk Hogan. I came in relatively at the sort of the end of the beginning ish, the end of the Attitude Era, the late '90s, early 2000s. So my guy is The Rock, and yeah, man. When you said you've been watching it since your dad, and sort of it's kind of like a generational thing because now I got a 1 year old and he goes around screaming all the wrestlers theme songs that he know today, whether it's Cody Rhodes, Jey Uso, L.A. Knight, Seth Rollins. It just so uh it's so surreal in a way because I was sort of the only guy in the house, who watched wrestling, and never thought I would have a kid, but didn't have a kid, and now he's sort of running around the house screaming wrestling theme songs. So it's really cool, man. I definitely love that, man. But man, you definitely, SJ has been wonderful here on the 11:30 podcast. And before you go, man, what keeps you motivated? What inspires SJ,
Man, I'm actually inspired by progress, you know, progress and action. I mean, to where, like, how I said, I don't have the actual. I do really have confirmation already that the event is going to happen. It's just when, and it's going to be between September and November, as far as the DC event. I'm just doing everything without having to mention the actual words out of my mouth, right? But I mean, so that right there, that's the top of the top as far as uh, we don't people that look like us don't have events at the
man?
Supreme Court. So there it is. I said it. Um, but that is something to where, I mean, only God can put that together. There's just some different things that happen to even make that a possibility. And then I just gonna go ahead and let it out the bag. My man, Dr. Benjamin Morton, was able to make some connections with the event planner of the Supreme Court. And they were intrigued by what we had going on. So we're in ongoing meetings right now, setting up a sanctioned event that's going to happen. And we can have sponsors for some of the different things because we're going to have food. We're going to have this. So if the 11:30 podcast wanted to be a sponsor or something like that, involved with this sanctioned Supreme Court event that we're going to be putting on, hey, that can happen.
Hey, that'd be
Uh,
awesome, man.
that's what inspires me. Being able to when things happen like that, and just this music, I want to continue to make some of these things happen. Keep being a writer, whether it's a ghost writer for people, whether it's putting projects together like this. Of course, I do speaking events and things. So I just the I think being asked to be on shows like this and everything else are the things that keep me inspired because that means more people want to hear what I have to say. And I'm thankful
Yeah.
for that. I'm thankful for that. Just really thankful.
Hey man, that's what's up, man. Definitely, man. I appreciate you for sharing, man, and sharing the wisdom, man. Sharing the wisdom, man. Black brothers sharing the wisdom and trying to inform and educate everyone, man. I think that is awesome because like you said, it's sort of weird time we live in nowadays where the world sort of moves a lot of fast. It's just move the days just moves real fast. But I think when you can take the time and just teach one and just give back, man, and uplift everyone else that's next to you. Uh, man, like the future is bright. It's definitely bright, and I see you doing a lot with the music and everything. Just keep doing it, man. Definitely keep killing it, and I would love to be a part of the event here in DC. So just let me know. For everyone who's watching, all the links will be down below. Excuse me. So you can definitely go follow SJ. Definitely go check out his latest music and all of his social media platforms, man. For real. Before you go, man, any questions, any shout outs, anything you would like to say?
Man, the album is, I got an album. It was supposed to drop May 17th, but I was waiting on a verse from my man from Brooklyn. I'm waiting on a verse from my man from South Central. There's a couple of other things I'm waiting on. And I wanted to push it back 3 months. So August 17th is when it's going to drop. The video for Brown versus Board of Education, Far Too Long, is dropping May 17th. That's the anniversary, the 70th anniversary. The premiere is going to be on Fox 43 in Topeka. I'll have that link so I can make sure that I even share that with you. Um, but yeah, look for the album Synchronicity in Motion. Uh, August 17th. it's going to be something, really a compilation, but you're going to hear music and creativity in a way that is pretty phenomenal. And then just Google synchronicity, but synchronicity in motion was one of my mental health things when I actually found that, natural phenomenon can happen and it can look like mental illness and it can lead to self-discovery if you follow the fated path. And I'll leave it at that. But I know that's something, but you will really enjoy this project.
Mm. Sounds intriguing, man. Definitely sounds intriguing. Can't wait for the project and the album to release, man. Keep doing what you're doing, man. Keep uplifting and inspiring others, man. For real. Definitely inspiration. I appreciate you for coming through here on the 11:30 podcast show, man. Definitely a great time for everyone who's listening and watching. Like I said, all the links will be down below in the description. Make sure you go follow, check out, and follow his music and check out everything my guy SJ got, man. We're gonna take a quick break. We're gonna wrap up the show. We got the WTF moment and more, man. You guys, man, don't move. You're listening and you're watching to the 11:30 podcast. SJ, man, appreciate you for coming through.
Yes, sir. Thank you, my man. I appreciate you for having me.
Cable for less than cable. More unexpected plot twists.
Ooh.
Less unexpected fees. More committing to new shows.
Ooh.
Less committing to an annual contract. More being held in suspense. Less being held on hold. More modern. More simple. More than cable for less than cable. Try YouTube TV for free.
Yo, what up? This your boy Kenneth Stones, aka Kofi Weaston.
This your boy D.O.E. Good Brother Bowl.
And we are the Dirty Hills. You already know, man, you tuning in to 11:30 podcast.
Mm-hmm.
Not 7:30, but 11:30.
Dude, that's my job. Not 7:30, but 11:30.
Yeah. And you have been Dirty Hills approved.
Yo, we back here on the 11:30 podcast show. Appreciate everyone sticking with me throughout the break, man. Really dope show. SJ, thank you for coming through here on the podcast show. Once again, shout out to Katrina for definitely hooking me up with these amazing guests. SJ, we also had my guy Kenny that was on not too long ago, as well as Law, man. So really amazing guest. So shout out to Katrina, really amazing. And SJ, thank you for coming through here on the podcast show, dropping knowledge, man, education, information. I love it, man. I definitely love it. All the links are down below, so you can definitely get at them. You guys, man, appreciate everyone tuning in on this back-to-back Wednesday, 2 episodes of the 11:30 podcast show. Earlier, I had on Mary Harper on the 11:30 podcast show this week. Really great guest, man. Really great guest. And also this episode right here with SJ. Really cool having them on, man, for real. And like I was telling you guys, man, before the break, and before I roll on out of here, I got the WTF moment for you guys. Now, earlier on, man, I literally forgot something. So, one thing I can't stand with a pet peeve, man. See, I like to smoke or whatnot, but you hit the weed man up, man, and they give you a specific time of, like, man, I'm coming by about 3 o'clock, man, and you don't see them till like 5, 6 o'clock. I'm like, well, damn, dog, don't come at me like what the fuck when you told me you was gonna be here at a specific time. Like, man, that's WTF, man, for real. Like, and then another thing, man, I shared a video on my social media, my IG, to be exact, and it was like, dog, you got a couple of moments, man, before you say something and before I go the other way, bro, because ain't nobody about to be waiting on you to make up your mind whether you got some or get some and then hit me back up, especially days later. Nah, go ahead, man. Go ahead, man. That was a part of the WTF moment from earlier that I really meant to say. But you guys, man, big WTF moment of the week, you guys. Man, yo, okay. So this past Sunday, man, once again, shout out to all the moms out there. I hope all the moms out there had a wonderful, wonderful Mother's Day, man. But you guys, man, you ever, to all the parents out there, you ever, had your child and maybe feel like you lost them for maybe 2 to 5 minutes or 10 minutes, and it just felt like it was the end of the world. And okay, well, that sort of happened this Sunday. You ain't gonna say sort of happened. That happened. Um, Now my fiance told me, "Yo, go downstairs. I got a package that's coming." She ordered some drinks or whatever. So I'm down there, I'm waiting, and the Uber Eats is taking forever. So I just said, you know what, man, I'm going back up, man, to figure out what's going on, man. Like, did they come yet or whatever? So as soon as I get off the elevator, bend the corner, my fiance mom-in-law, she head out the door like, "I'm here, I'm here. Where's he at? Where's he at?" I'm like, what the fuck is going on? You tell me he's in here. Nobody knows where he's at, man. I'm coming down the hallway. I get into it. They're like, "Where's Amir? Where's Amir? What do you mean, where Amir?" I'm downstairs trying to grab the order. They upstairs. Babe, she cooking. And at the moment, mom-in-law, she was watching the other three grandkids. The other three girls, they chilling. Little man decided to get himself up and get into everything and go in the room. And then I got a jar of medicine. A jar of medicine. He decided to go in the jar of medicine and rub it together and put it all over his arms, his clothes, his head, his face, and everything, man. You feel me? And nobody, for some reason, could find out where he was at, where he was at. He was in the room, in the corner, playing in the jar of, my ointment, my cream ointment. But WTF, man, it was like, dog. And it's like the thing with dads, man. I say one thing now. I don't know if you guys hearing in the background. He's literally giving his mom a hard time right now. And I can come in the scene, come in the room, daddy voice, straighten all up, man, for real. But then get around her, act a fool, just don't want to listen, man. I don't understand it at all, man. I think we need a little break for a minute, man, to rejuvenate, for real. Especially her, because it's like, well, I always said, man, yo, you needed a break before anybody, because he, at this point, it's like, man, he just, if you seen those videos, man, with the little kids, man, just do what he want to do with the mom, and then the father say something or come around the corner, and it, oh man, I don't understand it. I really don't understand it. I like the dad powers, but I don't like I don't like he not listen to his mom. Like, come on, bro, like listen to her, man. That makes my job even harder because I can't come in the room and record for a couple of seconds or do my show without him, doing a bunch of stuff. Like, WTF all the way. Now, for real, it happened so fast. Everybody was nervous. Their emotions were high. We meant to take a picture of him, before Bay gave him, put him in the shower and washed him off and everything. And we was telling the whole family, later on that night about it on Mother's Day. They was cracking up laughing, man. He's really a busy somebody, man. For real, really busy somebody. WTF all the way, man. And brother-in-law was like, man, if you got kids, man, and they ain't playing the vaccine, man, you might need to go get them checked out. You might need to go get them checked out, man. For real. WTF all the way. Yo, you guys, man, this has been an incredible 2 episodes here. Mary Harper and also my guy SJ. Thank you guys for coming through here on the 11:30 podcast show this week. Also, Talk Pro Wrestling returns this Saturday, 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Beyond 11:30 is returning soon, you guys. And also, Commission Talks, we live on the 11:30 podcast YouTube channel, Buzzing with Marlo. Also, the Beeline Entertainment. Make sure you tune in and chop it up and check out the guys, man. For real, we're going to be chatting that good old wrestling, man. I love it. I love it, you guys. Yo, man, I'm about to head on out of here. You guys, stay safe, stay blessed. Give all the glory to God, man. Won't he do it? Yo, until next time. Oh, before I go, you guys, I got to remind you guys, man, this is episode 196, and we are approaching episode 200, man. Excuse me. I'm speaking into existence already, episode 300. But episode 200, man, we're speaking it, and it's coming up. Uh, I'm excited. I'm thrilled, you guys. So in the coming weeks, man, we're gonna be celebrating 200 episodes of the 1130 podcast show, you guys. So definitely tell a friend, and tell a friend. But until next time, you guys, while you tell a friend, it's your man Dre, aka Dre on Wheels. Stay blessed, stay safe, give all the glory to God, man. Won't he do it? Yo, until next time, I'm out, guys. Peace.
I'm from the city, DC, that's where I'm from. 1130 podcast, Dre on Wheels, he is the one. Let's get it, yeah. Who with me? Let's get it, yeah. Who with me? I'm from the city, DC, that's where I'm from. Let's get it. 1130 podcast, Dre on Wheels, he is the one.
He the one, nigga. So
let's breeze, baby.
He the one.
Who with me?
So breeze, baby.
Let's get it. You with me? Yeah, they gon' hate, but they ain't stopping this. I'ma keep making hits. Dre and Wheels, you know it ain't no copying. Was you sitting there on the carpet with us? Yeah, we knew we had some options.